Welcome, Hudson Valley. This is Conor Walsh, host of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. I know we were promoting the incredible Pups Pet Rescue for this week, but we had to make a change to the schedule. We will return to focus on them soon. This week on In Touch, we have Dr. Lisa Curcio from Northern Dutchess Hospital here to talk about Light the Village Pink. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Dr. Curcio talks about how Light the Village Pink helps raise awareness and funds for the medical programs at Northern Dutchess Hospital. We invite you to listen to a previously recorded conversation between Dr. Curcio and myself here on In Touch. I'm so proud to announce that In Touch has received another 2 Excellence in Broadcasting Awards from the New York State Broadcasting Association for 2024. In Touch received the award for Outstanding Public Affairs Program or Series for the second year in a row. Not just that, but In Touch also received the award for Outstanding Editorial/Commentary. This recognition would not be possible without all of our phenomenal guests that we learn from and grow with every single week, and of course, you, the listener. Whether you've been listening for a while or you just found us, thank you for taking part in the conversation and staying in touch with what's going on in the Hudson Valley. Because of the awesome success of In Touch over the last year, we are expanding. We're launching a new spin-off series under the In Touch umbrella called Townsquare Spotlight. These spotlights focus on amazing celebrities and leaders passing through the Hudson Valley who are making an impact in pop culture. You can check out our latest spotlights wherever you listen to In Touch. Hello, Hudson Valley. You're listening to another episode of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. Halloween season is going to look a little extra pink this year. Honestly, spooky season is taking a page out of Mean Girls' book. In October, we wear pink. Honestly, though, in all seriousness, we've covered this in the past. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and to celebrate, Light the Village Pink will be taking part in the Hudson Valley. Primarily, the HQ is in Rhinebeck and Red Hook. And with us to speak about it, I'm really excited about this, we have Dr. Lisa Curcio from Northern Dutchess Hospital. Dr. Curcio, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I'm really happy to have you here, and I think this is such a cool event. Light the Village Pink. It's happening all throughout the Hudson Valley, and it's just such a great way to spread awareness for breast cancer awareness, of course. And I think the first thing that I really want to talk about, what exactly is Light the Village Pink, and how did this start?
So Light the Village Pink is a campaign our campaign that started 4 years ago, initially in Rhinebeck, where we wanted to bring, obviously, awareness about breast cancer and solidarity to those people who are either being treated or have been treated for breast cancer. But we also wanted a means to be able to make people aware that breast services are being offered in the Hudson Valley, because at Northern Dutchess, it wasn't prior to my arrival in 2020, and to really make them think about breast health, getting their mammogram, and really getting their care in the community. So this started off very small. Several businesses in Rhinebeck placed lights up, and we had a little ceremony. And each year it's gained momentum, I would say. And now we've extended to Red Hook, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger campaign every year. And we hope in the future it will grow to other areas nearby.
That's awesome. And one thing we were talking about before we got onto the mic, you're saying in your own neighborhood and community how it's been building and growing. Can you talk about how everybody was putting the pink lights up outside their homes in your neighborhood? I just thought that was a cute story.
Yeah, so I live in a relatively new neighborhood, and initially I think our HOA was not very keen on it. Mm-hmm. So the first year, a few of us had lights up, and we were told we needed to take them down. But we kind of decided that we were going to do majority rules, and a whole bunch of people in the neighborhood put their lights up, and we finally got the approval of the HOA. And now it's actually even in one of our mail room, which has a main light source. There's a pink light there throughout October. So
yay! Peer pressure.
It makes our neighborhood very pink for October.
I love that. See, well, that just goes to show you the power in numbers right there and what you're able to accomplish. I think that's great. So, of course, Light the Village Pink. We're trying to light up everything. Of course, this is primarily out of Rhinebeck and Red Hook businesses, but anybody in the Hudson Valley can do this. And anybody in the Hudson Valley can partake by getting, and I know this is radio, you can't see it, but I'm holding up this pink light bulb. I think this is adorable. I love this. So how can people in the Hudson Valley get their hands on these light bulbs?
Well, many of our local businesses actually are providing them for free. At Rhinebeck Chamber of Commerce, the Mercantile, Rhinebeck Savings Bank, the Bottle Shop, the Town of Clinton, the Town of Rhinebeck, the Village of Rhinebeck, and in Red Hook, the Red Hook Library, Rhinebeck Savings Bank, the Town of Red Hook, Ulster Savings Bank, and the Village of Red Hook.
So you'll be seeing all of these different businesses and organizations with all these pink lights all throughout October, right?
Absolutely.
That
And it
is
starts
amazing.
October 1st and goes all the way to the end of the month.
So while you're setting up all your Halloween decorations, make sure that you got a few pink lights out there as well. I don't know, that could just add to all the fun fallness of it all. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I'm going to have to set that up for my house for all my Halloween decorations. I think that is great. And of course, besides also having the pink lights, you could probably also have other kind of pink stuff to help light things up as well. You could do it in your home. You could put up a pink lampshade. You can have some pink curtains to help illuminate it if you want, something like that. I'm sure you can get like pink string lights that you could put outside too.
Absolutely.
Something along those lines. Wear plenty of pink. I've been a part of Men Wear Pink with American Cancer Society, so I've worn pink every October as well. So that's just another way to continue to do it. So, of course, with Light the Village Pink, you guys are doing this October 1st through 31st, and you guys are doing this really cool kickoff that's happening in Rhinebeck. Do you think you can tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so October 1st from 5:30 to 7:30 at Foster's Coach House parking lot on Montgomery Street in Rhinebeck. We're having an event. It'll include some family fun events, vendors, and then as it starts to get dark, Dave's Trees is involved, and they have a pink truck that we light the lights on as the sun starts to go down, and we have an official lighting ceremony. So it's a lot of fun. This year we're trying to really make it family-oriented, and it starts and kicks off the whole month of October.
I think that is so, so neat. And also, that's just a beautiful spot in Rhinebeck to be able to do all of that. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be an amazing kickoff. Now, another cool thing that happened last year, you guys had a very impressive goal. You reached that goal, and there was kind of a dare that went along with it. Could you go into that?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the campaign, I was approached and asked if I'd be willing to dye my hair pink if we reached our goal, and so I did. And we had an event at the very end where I came out with my pink hair. So that was really exciting. And I think it really helped to motivate. We got a lot of employee participation because everyone wanted to see my hair pink.
There you go. And what was that lofty goal that you guys were able to hit?
Last year it was $60,000.
Impressive. That sounds good.
We went well over it too.
Amazing. So anything like that this year? More dyeing hair pink, or are you going to get other people to do it, or?
We haven't really set any kind of goal in that respect this year.
Gotcha. But I love that for last year, though. That's terrific.
Yeah, it was a great campaign.
Now, Dr. Curcio, of course, naturally working for Northern Dutchess Hospital, you're very involved with this. But this kind of charity and this kind of event has something very personal to you as well. Would you mind going into the personal connection that you have to this?
So last year and this year, all the funds raised for our campaign of Light the Village Pink are going towards our survivorship program. Recently, we have created the Kayla Wilson Breast Cancer Survivorship Program. That was named after our Vice President of Medical Affairs, Dr. Andy Wilson's late wife, who was diagnosed at a very early age of breast cancer and unfortunately lost her battle. We feel that this is a great way to honor and remember her fight, her valiant fight against breast cancer, and to take care of our patients after their cancer diagnosis and to deal with any of the side effects that the treatment actually has caused. Because a lot of breast cancer survivors on the other side of the treatment have lots of side effects from the treatment. And we want to get them back to a life that's like their life before breast cancer. So the survivorship program is one to monitor them in case, to prevent recurrences or to diagnose a recurrence if it occurs early, God forbid, but more so to get them back on their feet and get them living a life worth living after their cancer diagnosis.
Big time, absolutely. And something we were talking about before we got onto the mic, exactly that, life after the diagnosis. and saying how your program at Northern Dutchess, is with each patient each step of the way, and then for plenty of time afterwards. It's not one of those situations where it's like, hey, here's your diagnosis, go to this person and go to this place and go to this place and go to this place. And, when that happens, a lot of patients will kind of take a step back and it's like, oh my God, this is a lot. This is overwhelming. No, you guys are there and holding their hand through the whole process and after. Can you tell us about that? Talk a little bit about how your program helps all these patients this way.
Yeah, well, I think one of the great things about our program is we, as a system, we work together to provide a level of care that isn't necessarily provided in other places. We work in a multidisciplinary fashion, but most importantly, we have a nurse navigator who meets the patient at their first visit and really walks them through the diagnosis, the establishing the treatment plan, the treatment itself, and the after diagnosis. And particularly in this day and age where the economy is difficult, she helps them to obtain what's available in our community. And we do have a lot in our community in terms of financial resources for people undergoing particularly breast cancer treatment. So she makes them aware, and in some cases actually hand walks or sometimes helps them physically fill out the application process, and making sure that no one suffers financial toxicity as to the best that we can from a cancer diagnosis, which it can be a very financially toxic experience if you don't have the right person or people to help you with that.
Absolutely. Anywhere in healthcare, it can be very difficult. It can be very overwhelming and very confusing if somebody is unaware of how all the systems work. So to be able to have somebody to hold your hand through the process is really wonderful, and I'm glad that your program's able to offer something like that. So with Light the Village Pink, obviously we're going through this all throughout the month of October, the 1st through the 31st. What does this mean to you personally? Obviously, this is part of your job, but there's something passionate about it. Like, you have to have that underlying passion. What does this mean to you?
Well, I'm a breast cancer survivor myself. I actually was diagnosed 24 years ago with breast cancer. At that time, I had done a fellowship in surgical oncology, so I was doing all types of cancer surgery. But my diagnosis and my experience with breast cancer really kind of was an experience that kind of led me to deciding to just dedicate the rest of my career towards breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
And really providing a level of care that that really helps the patient, quells the fears, feels like they're not walking through this process by themselves. But I always tell my patients that, in the beginning when they're meeting us as first time, surgeon, they're medical oncologist, you're assembling a team with you. You're going to war against this cancer. And the people you assemble is part of your team are your warriors that are going to be on the front lines with you and really get you from point A to point B after the cancer diagnosis. And, I really think that that's so important to have that personal experience and to be able to say, yeah, I was on that side of the table. So for me, it's very personal.
I'm sure. And it must mean so much to your patients to be able to, sit down and work with you and be like, hey, she's been here before. She's shown so much strength. And now you're passing that strength along to each and every person that you're working with.
And the other part of that, too, is when you're first diagnosed with breast cancer, I think a lot of people feel like they're just going to die of breast cancer. Like that diagnosis to them means that they're going to die of breast cancer. And to see someone like myself who's now 20-some years after a diagnosis and, doing well and I actually found meaning through my diagnosis. It really helped me to hone in on my career. I think that's really helpful for patients to see there is a life after a breast cancer diagnosis. And it's really what you make of it. But you can get through the diagnosis and really change your life or continue the life you had. It's your choice.
Amen to that. I think that is so impactful and so inspirational to anybody who's going through it or as a family member or friend who's going through it. I think that's really important for a lot of people to hear. And I'm glad that the Hudson Valley listening audience is hearing that right now. That's terrific. Again, Light the Village Pink is happening all throughout the month of October, October 1st through 31st. They're having their kickoff happening at Foster's Coach House parking lot. They're going to have a whole family event. It's going to be a lot of fun, 5:30 to 7:30. And then also there's another event that's going to be happening later in October on the 24th. It's a donor stewardship event. Brighter Together Conversations on Breast Care, where donors can come in and different patients and survivors can come in. Could you tell us a little bit about that and why it's important that people can hear from medical professionals on this panel, ask questions and things along those lines?
So it's modeled after another event that we had several years ago, and it gives people an opportunity to see us outside the office. And, we kind of, through the help of a moderator, address some, questions that women really ask frequently. And then, and there's different perspectives. For instance, oftentimes we have an OBGYN involved, Dr. Kimberly Henderson, who's part of our New Vance OBGYN department. This year, we're going to add Dr. Mueller, who's our new survivorship director, and she was hired for the whole system to help build these survivorship programs that we are currently in the process of building. And I think she has a very great perspective also on complementary treatments, for instance, like acupuncture and Reiki and yoga. So I think it'll be a great opportunity to get different perspectives on topics and then to open it up to the audience and really let them ask questions. From a patient perspective, it's a great opportunity to get questions answered. And from a donor perspective, I think it's really great for them to see what kind of program we have and how we interact as physicians amongst ourselves to answer questions, to answer things, patient issues that we do every day we have like a breast conference that we talk about patients once a week, patients that are complicated, and it has a medical oncologist, a surgeon, a radiation oncologist, our radiologist, our pathologist, and we really kind of go into depth on different cases and really kind of figure out what's the best management for this individual patient. It's not just if this, then that. It's actually this patient with these problems, how do we best treat them?
Amazing. And something I'm going to focus on for a second that you said, it's seeing everybody outside of the office. So being able to talk about these things, it's a completely different scenario when it's outside the office. It feels more comfortable, a little more conversational. It doesn't feel like all the walls are closing in on you. And I think that is such a great way for them to experience all of you guys, all of everybody a part of your program that's working together, and to be able to share those stories and to not feel alone. It's different when you're in an office by yourself hearing this news and hearing this information. But when you're in a room with all these other people and to be able to share this experience, yeah, it might be tough, but you're not alone. Yeah. And I think that is so big too. Yeah. And I really want to harp on this for a second too, to show people that they're not alone. Obviously, as they're driving around, they're going to see all the businesses and houses with all the pink lights. But we also want to get this all over social media as well. So if people are taking pictures or videos with their lights or their pink outfits or their pink decorations or whatever kind of pink that they have out and about, how should they get this out to Northern Dutchess and New Vance? What's the best way?
Well, yeah, that would be great if they could do that. And they can actually tag at Northern Dutchess Hospital or at New Vance Health on Facebook, Instagram, or even LinkedIn. And obviously, if they want more information, they can go to the website newvancehealth.org/lightthevillagepink.
Terrific. And of course, we'll have all the links and information in the description of this episode, so you'll know exactly how to tag and to get all that information. We don't want everybody hunting too far. We'll be able to keep it nice all together in a pink bow, and we'll have that for you. That's amazing. So again, Light the Village Pink. It's happening all throughout the Hudson Valley. HQ, of course, right around Northern Dutchess Hospital there in Rhinebeck. You can get your special, I'm holding it up again, but again, radio. You can grab your pink light bulbs at a number of the businesses and organizations that we'll have listed in the description of this episode. And of course, while you're doing all your Halloween stuff, make sure that you add a little extra pink to the costumes, the decorations, and all that. Dr. Curcio, thank you so much for being here on this Townsquare Spotlight. Do you have any last little nugget you want to leave the Hudson Valley listening audience with?
Maybe two things.
Absolutely.
So bulbs are for mostly homes and residents. We actually have strings of lights available for businesses if you're so inclined to light your business pink too. So just ask at the different places that are distributing bulbs, and we can certainly get you strings of lights for your businesses. I think, for me, I'm a breast cancer surgeon, so every day is breast cancer awareness because we see breast cancer patients every day. But it is important to know that breast cancer is not a diagnosis to be feared. If breast cancer is diagnosed early, the cure rate is extremely high. So it's important for you to examine your breast and get your yearly mammogram. Women should start at the age of 40, and they should continue yearly from there on. If they have a family history of someone with a young age of diagnosis of breast cancer, they should be talking to a professional like myself or their OBGYN or their primary care doctor how soon they should start screening, because women who have people in their family that are diagnosed before the age of 40 should start sooner. So breast cancer is a very curable disease. There's no reason for people to die of breast cancer. So we really want to make sure that October brings that message home and everyone gets their mammograms.
Amen. Beautiful. Well, hey, we're just going to keep shining a pink light on this topic then.
There you go.
There we go. Dr. Curcio, thank you so much for being here on this Townsquare Spotlight.
Thank you.
This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to thank Dr. Lisa Curcio. For more information, visit ltvp.funraise.org. Of course, all links and information will be in the description of this episode. Whether you've been listening for a while or you just joined us, thank you. You can find In Touch episodes new and old on your favorite streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. That and listen on demand with your Townsquare radio station mobile app. Of course, you can still find all articles and audio under the In Touch tab on this radio station's app and website. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at InTouch_HV. I've been your host, Conor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time.